All right. Hello. This is Alexander Wales. What are we doing today? This is the Worth the Candle Exclusions document writing session. I want to say it's 5. Um, Today we will hopefully be writing 2 more entries in this. It'll be uh, Glassy Fields and SPECT, which is the multi-level marketing um, the multi-level marketing exclusion. Okay, so Glassy Fields is the first one of these that I'm writing on stream that was part of the story. It should be a pretty easy one. The entirety of this is from chapter 214. The entirety of the description of Glassy Fields is like that bit, and most of this does not need to be transferred over. There's like 4 paragraphs about it at all. Okay, so Glassy Fields is mostly just a bunch of glass, coating different surfaces, sharp bits of glass, things that live in glass, things that are adapted to live in glass. Some of this is just going to be lifted wholesale. So, yeah, not a huge problem. Okay. I don't believe that it goes into why, like what glass magic was. I'm going to do a double check for that right now. Okay, so there's nothing more about glass magic that I need to worry about. Hello. Glass specifically cannot be awarded against. Yes, that's correct. I believe this one is post. Yeah, no, right. This is post-Utherian, but like not by much. It's like let's say 47. That sounds correct to me. All right, here's where we start our cross-reference. How thick is the glass? In my mind, it's like 6 inches, but I don't know if that's correct. We're gonna put that in for features. Okay, so when I say paste without formatting, I think that should mean don't match the formatting of whatever I'm pasting into. But I can see where Google would not think that. And yes, there are some like birds and trains today. It's a nice rainy day, but hopefully not too many of the sounds will be coming through. Okay. Relatively benign. I think there's, towers built on the edges to look in. Include that as well. Obviously, all this can get rewritten. I don't want to like just copy pasting a bunch of text, like verbatim into the exclusions doc, but this is just to make sure that everything lines up correctly. Not that it's a huge deal if it doesn't. 1 foot of thickness. Okay. And then there's little fox-like things. Okay. Yeah, 1 foot. A foot thick layer of Did you miss any glass magic lore? No. So the origins. Okay, so there are two questions, I think, that this exclusion needs to answer. One, what is glass magic? And two, like, how does the exclusion happen? Neither of those are really what I think is neat about it. Um, I like the what I like about this specific exclusion is um, the hostility and like it's like a pretty hostility, I guess. So that's what we're gonna mostly be trying to get across. But I guess history should start with. I feel like I'm gonna immediately forget Terramore. It's a great name, but I'm gonna forget it. So just include that as a note for myself. We'll start with like a paragraph on glass magic. Oh no, actually, it's called the best room. So I like the idea that the glass magic is sort of like I don't know, the kind of dumb stuff you see in Marvel. Like you could make yourself the equivalent to vibranium, or there's a lot of interesting material stuff that you can do. I think I'm going to leave it vague for now because it's not. Well, okay. I was going to say it's not important, but I guess it is interesting. Can you mold it like clay? I don't think so. Here, we'll go slowly. Like they're real like glass blowing and glasswork techniques that I don't know. And yeah, people do need windows more than they need weapons, but windows aren't. Like if a glass mage's job is just to make windows, then like how is that different from a glazier? Oh, word count 8,453. This is longer than a chapter now. Okay. How do they make it into the right shape? I mean, the same way that you would do normal glass blowing, like or normal glass work, is you put it into a mold and shape it that way and press it down and stuff like that. Shape slash magic state. Well, no, like I don't know. I don't. I'm gonna say that's not important. It's not important because all the glass mages are dead. So here's the problem: the like, how do they do the magic part is always going to be a little messy, and it's always going to be a little, in my opinion, a little like uninteresting, right? Like, okay, like they mix their blood in with the glass, or they like cast a spell using their hand motions. I don't find that stuff worthwhile. Usually, it's an important element of um, like if you're gonna have it in a story or in a game or something. Like if you're doing D&D, you need to know whether your spells have semantic or verbal components, or like if there's special materials that you need. Like it's not important to the. Does that make sense? That I don't consider it to be an important thing. Like it's not a question that, unless the answer is going to be cool, then it doesn't matter. And I'm not gonna. Like, okay, there are cool things that you can do with like how does this magic express itself. But I don't know. I don't feel like it's necessary here. So we'll be moving on. Um, a need for answers. Okay, so yeah, I tend to only include stuff I find interesting. Um, yeah, like you can include an answer, but you don't need that answer. And like if the answer is not interesting, I would rather leave it up to your imagination. So like let's say someone were taking the glass magic exclusion zone or whatever into a game of D&D. Um I would want them to like have the freedom to develop it, in especially if I was just gonna be like, hey, yeah, they just like use their hands to cast a spell or whatever. I mean, there's cool stuff you could come up with if you wanted to. You could say that like they you imbue the glass with magical powers during lucid dreaming or something. That's cool. I mean, to me at least, it's like interesting, but it it doesn't add anything here. So we can save that idea for later. Okay, and then features are all we have left here. This is going to be a relatively short entry, because this... It's got like 2 or 3 things that I like in it, and that's about all I can ask of an entry. Hoping it was something thematic, like reflecting a schematic from a mirror through a specially prepared prism. Yeah, I mean, you could, like, I don't know. That's, like, I'm sure there are good ideas. I just don't want to spend time on it. Um, would the exclusion happen as soon as the special glass was created, or only when they failed to contain it? Okay, so there's this idea within Worth the Candle of a warden who is like a deity element that is in charge of exclusions and stuff, and whether something gets excluded. I think in this case it would be when they failed to contain it, because by itself it's not like all powerful or world shattering. But once failed to contain, like if they had just kept it contained, it'd be fine. Does that suggest other glass issues elsewhere might have been contained successfully? Um, yes. Well, once the exclusion happens, um, then glass magic just stops working everywhere. But it is within my conception of exclusions possible to have something that would be excluded if it escaped the prison that you made for it. Are the plants preserved? Yes. The plants, I mean, it's not in the story, but the plants are preserved. I think this is something that you can actually do. Yeah, the land ones. I think this is something you can actually do with glass. I'm not going to look it up right now, but uh, there are certain things that you need in order to like make that work. But um, it's sort of like if you encase something in epoxy, you can prevent decay that way, so long as there's not like pockets of air or something like that. But something flat like a leaf, you could definitely encase, and then because there's no air, it generally won't like be a viable environment for bacteria. That's from what I know. Partly I think that it is a cooler image to see just like things that have been frozen for hundreds of years um, beneath glass. You would run into problems with decay from like light because the light's been shining there for almost 500 years. But we're gonna go with trying to evoke that feeling of things preserved beneath the glass rather than like a crusty, desiccated land. It's one of those things I could probably spend half an hour trying to research, um, which I do love, but I'm not gonna do that now, and probably not ever, unless I need it for a story, I guess, which I probably won't because it's already worth the candle. Um, would having your if you had to camp there, would having your tents on stilts like Crazy Straw slow the progress? Yes, that seems like a lot of work. But I mean, like, but yes, like because it crawls along surfaces. Does it crawl along other types of glass? You could use other glass as a barrier, sure. Arborea. All right, I think that's it for this. For now. These are all rough first drafts, so I'm not going to I'll come back to them later and punch them up a little, work on some of the pros, make sure that that's fine. But I think that's a good first draft. I think that communicates the things I find most interesting in a concise way. We are 45 minutes in. Okay, so it looks like needs to be mention of their teleport. Yeah, okay. How exactly do I put it? Probably should also mention they're dangerous. Sure. Arborea, there are I think 16 or so disjoint planes. That number might be wrong. That are sort of equivalent to what there is in D&D. Vidrix migrated through deliberate human intervention. Okay, spect is going to be oops. 37 disjoint planes. That seems like a lot, but that's very on brand for ARB. This will be another earlier one. I don't think we've had an Utherian one yet. Those will take a little bit of extra. A little bit of extra thinking, I guess. Okay. This one I need to think about a little bit. I need to think about what's cool about it, what's interesting. Make that red for now. I don't remember. Okay. I don't remember exactly what I was thinking for this one. All right, so I'm just going to do some brief brainstorming here. So this magic is meant to be based on multi-level marketing. They have this concept of upstream and downstream. So how multi-level marketing works is you recruit people into your business, and the more stuff that they sell, the more money you get, and they can recruit other people. And there's like a little pyramid shape, and certain people at the top get very rich, and then everyone else is kind of going to debt and stuff. They go into debt because they think that they'll be able to make the money back, and then they can't. So there's a magic system that does that, basically, which I don't think I've ever seen. It's like exploitative magic. All right. Prestidigitation is a spell from Dungeons and Dragons, does a bunch of minor things. I think that's going to be the starting point for this, is someone comes to you and is like, hey, do you want to buy like the ability to do prestidigitation from me? And then you say, yeah. And they're like, oh, you have to become a member of the this like group, and then it's like a complicated thing, and they rope you in, and then you find that you're selling prestidigitation to other people, and no one really needs that much prestidigitation. And then you get these like incestuous communities of people trying to sell minor magic to each other. So sorry, this is mostly meant to be a writing stream. This, for like 10 minutes or so, is going to be a brainstorming stream. I was watching I think when I wrote this idea down, I was watching a show about multi-level marketing. You one with Kirsten Dunst. So the second problem with this, like I think this is fine. The second problem with this is what makes it dangerous, like what makes it an exclusion zone. And I think it's probably like automatic enrollment and draining. Like, okay. This is where we just start writing. Yes. So I think here. I think I will write out a brief description. Also, this needs a name, and it can't be multi-level. Here, we're just going to do... or find some Latin word. Or something. I do this a lot. I go to etymology and try to look at root words. Diminutive of Libra. Okay, take that. Except that's modern French. I try not to pull from modern because then if you actually speak French, it's distracting. Placeholder name. Maybe I'll go back to it. Maybe I won't. I am actually totally fine with for worth the candle, at least, with having things be slightly lazy. Things that a teenage dungeon master would do because they know no one's going to check them. And I don't like the word low level here. A mimetic effect. Yes. I mean, okay, so for exclusion, it could be that there's just a new bad product put out. I'm going to think about it. Elevate. Well, yeah, it could be elevation instead. No, I need my medieval ranks. It's journeyman, master, apprentice. Apprentice is the wrong word, though. Well, I don't think we're doing. Okay, so the way I have it conceived of in my mind right now is that you get like little cheap chits that are redeemable for a magic effect. That these are like some actual physical thing, possibly like locked by the system to you unless you sell them or something. But there has to be some kind of penalty beyond just payment, which is the other thing I'm trying to think about. All right, we're just gonna do low level. I've just got to keep it moving because I do want to get this done today. I still have. It's possible I will end the stream early if I'm just not feeling this, and I will spend some time thinking about it off stream or like when I'm going for a walk or something, which is a better way of writing than just sitting down and trying to crank something out. Sometimes. I'm a big believer in the power of cranking things out. This stuff specifically, thinking of words is difficult. In an actual multi-level marketing scheme, they tend to do it like the KKK has like Grand Imperial Dragon. It's like that and almost as silly. Like you're like platinum premium plus for the highest level. I don't think I would want to use that here, like specifically within this document, which is outside neutral observer. Sorry, I'm just reading chat real quick. Okay, nothing I need to worry about. Okay, I'm gonna I think end the stream here. That is almost exactly 1 hour. Um, I'll pick up with this next time. I need better names and a better description of the system and a better idea for where this exclusion is going. Um, so the stuff I find cool, I find multi-level marketing interesting. I want to try to reflect that. The other thing is the idea that something can be a free exclusion until a certain point where um, it like radically alters. Like the idea that it was like confined to this small, like relatively small space, and then like was totally fine for like 100 years or so until like something happened to make the whole zone deadly. But I'm gonna do some thinking about this one off stream. And I do need to work on dungeons, so it's gonna be the stream for the day. It's a short one. This is the first time not doing two. Then we'll have to be fine. Thanks for joining in. I will be streaming again tomorrow, hopefully, unless I'm behind on dungeons. All right. Talk to you later.